Okay guys, so yeah, we're in the basement of my building. Yeah. I thought this would be a great place perfect place to talk about ghost stuff and paranormal activity. Hell, maybe even a fucking camera will pick up something, some spirit or something while I'm talking about that shit. Woo, it's not very warm down here. It's not going to be a very long video. But before I get to that, I want to show you guys my, shit, I gotta put this down a second. Yeah, I just wanted to show you guys my sleeping beauties. Yeah, my vintage bikes. My Schwinn, which is right here. In case some of you guys haven't been subscribed to me too long, that's my 58 Schwinn Mark Jaguar. Right? Which I had the pleasure of riding several times in the summertime. And this one, I only rode it a little bit in the summer. This is even rarer. It's a 47 roll fast. Unfortunately, I was on Jari Street. I was forced to ride on the sidewalk because the fucking street was being all redone because of the pipes underneath. And flattened the fucking tire because I went into a goddamn hole where a lamppost used to be. So, yeah, ooh, it's really not warm down here. Fuck, I should have brought my goddamn coat. Yeah, that's when you know you're in ghetto, when the window's boarded up. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so close that up. And I'm going to see if I can set the camera up here somewhere so you guys can see me. Because I know it's better if, you know, when you're looking at somebody, even me, some guys I'm subscribed to, I'd rather be able to look at them, you know, while they're talking about whatever than not. So I think maybe even, I think this might work right here. Let's see here. There's a trick right there, actually. I need something to sit on, though. Chair there, but god damn, it's fucking cold. Oh shit. That's a dehumidifier you hear right there. See? There, one of those tanks is mine. See, this apartment building only has 4 units, so. And just to fucking show you, also before I talk about any ghost stuff, look how old this place is. Look at that post. It looks like a gigantic fucking pole. You know, look how old this is here. You got bricks here. Bricks. It's all concrete here. I thought there was a light here. Oh, anyway, some lockers there for my neighbor's bike. You know what? I'm not going to touch that, actually. Maybe I could put that right here. Let me see here. Yeah, that looks pretty good, eh? Okay, we're gonna do a little test now. Who's a good kitty? Who's a good kitty cat? You want to meow? Gloria. Oh, you're a good kitty. Gloria knows all about ghosts. What is it about pets? They have this, I think a sixth sense for that kind of thing, you know? Like they know, and you know that they know. You know, I could be like next to her watching, I don't know, a video or whatever on the couch, and she'll look at something and her ears will go back and her eyes get big. She knows there's a spirit in the room. There's something amok. Okay, so, yeah, so since the fucking Zoom is broken, I have to hold the camera the whole time because I was going to set it up here. But anyway, the Zoom doesn't work and I can't sit on the couch and it's too far away. Nah. So anyway, whatever, I'll move around like this until I figure something more appropriate. Maybe I could sit here. What does it look like here, maybe? Nope. Anyway, so for those of you who haven't seen my place, it's definitely a home for the eccentric or the the insane for cars and trucks and buses and Talking about fucking Christine, man. Anyway, so yeah, so I'm back up here in the apartment. I'm a little disappointed. I wanted to do this paranormal thing in the basement because where does evil lurk? I've done a bit of homework. Evil lurks usually in dark places and cold places, hence basement. But it was too fucking cold down there. Bryce, it's like fucking 10 degrees down there. I'm like, oh, and not only that, I couldn't turn off that humidifier, and I don't want to fuck it up because my landlord's got it fixed as a certain whatever level, and blah blah blah. So anyway, so back up here, and yeah, I didn't go out back out. I didn't go out to film today. Actually, I was just yesterday. I filmed 3 snow removal operations, 1 train, 1 walk. I was cold, and I don't know. I was going to today, but I only went out to go actually buy a. Man, I bought a Revell Boeing 747 kit for only. Man, it was only $20. $20. Anyway, to get to the story. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna have to set this up because it's gonna be annoying to hold the camera the whole time. So hang on. Okay, 1, 2, 3, skidoo. We got a good setup here, man. This is great, actually, because this is the kind of lighting I wanted. I wanted some kind of a spooky lighting to go along with this. It's just a little bit strange to set up because I'm standing next to my stove as if I was cooking, and I've got the camera set up just above the oven fan, or as we say in French, la hotte, and above that is a cabinet, and so I got the door open. I got the camera set up on the shelf of that cabinet, that well, you know what I mean, the cupboard, whatever. So yeah, talking about ghosts and spirits and paranormal activity. Okay, first of all, I didn't get to I never really talked about something that I know I mentioned it, but sometimes I ramble on a lot about things and I'll go from one thing to another. And I wanted to mention about how something that's been going on since I think last year here in my building. It's a very old building, and I think it's probably maybe 100 years old or close. I asked my landlord, and surprisingly he didn't know. I even this evening tried to find the year of construction on Google, and sometimes you can do that with certain places in the city, but it didn't work. So anyway, I think it started when I was watching some old episodes of The Sopranos, and I was watching this one episode sometime, I guess, a year ago, maybe more than that, where if you guys are familiar with The Sopranos, there was this one episode where Tony Soprano's son AJ tries to kill himself because he was seriously depressed. And that actually made me think of my friend Mark, who killed himself at 18. Unfortunately, he hung himself in his room in the basement. Everything fucking went wrong in his life. His girlfriend broke up with him, and he lost his job, I think. Or sorry, he got kicked out of CJAP, and his parents were threatening to throw him out of the house. All this fucking shit. And so that night, I remember. I think it was 4 o'clock in the morning. I was sleeping, and all of a sudden, bang, 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 4 times. This really loud fucking knocks on the wall. I can't even do it here because it would be too loud. And it was actually on the wall in my bedroom, facing my bed, separating my room, and my neighbor, who, by the way, I hate, and not because she's black, because she's a bitch. And and then I think even like at about 8 o'clock or something, same thing happened. And I think, or it was a different time, and it was like, the first time was like 4 o'clock in the morning. I look at the clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, 4 knocks. And then another time was like 8 o'clock in the morning, and I think it was 8 knocks. And then this happened a few other times after that. It wasn't consistent, And at one point, I think several months down the line, I think it was last year. I'm not sure if it was last year or the year before. I'm pretty sure it was last year. There was I was sitting at my my table here in the living room on my computer, and I heard this knock, and it was like a knocking going down the hallway, like knock 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 knock, and I had heard this before, and I was like, whoa, and I should also mention that there was even a couple of times I came home, I'd open the door, And I closed the door, and all of a sudden, bang, on the wall right next to the fucking door. And that actually happened recently. I remember one time even I came in, I closed the door, and I dropped my set of keys, and all of a sudden, bang, I heard that again. Now, my landlord, I told him about this. And now he's a really cool guy. He's a really nice guy. You know, he's a cool guy. And I don't know. I think he's kind of conservative, though. I don't know if he believes in that kind of shit and ghosts and poltergeists and whatever. And I've never had any, other than that, there's never been anything, you know, poltergeist related, as in, you know, objects moving and lights flashing and all that. Nothing like that. But it's unnerving, you know. And as a matter of fact, there was even one time, I remember I was watching a movie, and all of a sudden I heard a fucking knock on my door. You know, like knock, 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 just like really quick like that. 3 knocks, not heavy, just like knocks, like knock, 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 just like with a finger, you know, like this, knock, knock, knock. And I didn't hear, I didn't hear my neighbor's door open or close. I didn't hear anybody going up the stairs or going down the stairs. I'm telling you, that is a ghost. There's no fucking way, no science is going to explain that. You know, I had a friend, a best friend years ago. He was a great guy, but he believed that science had an explanation for everything. Ah, come on, that's ridiculous. And what else? What else? So yeah, there's all that stuff, and my neighbor, the one next to me, I told you, who can't stand me, and I don't like, obviously, she knocks on my door. I open the door, and she's fucking yelling at me and threatening me to stop those knockings on the wall, thinking that I'm the one responsible for that, and I mentioned this in a video actually, I think, before, and threatening to call the police on me. And she says, "Je vais appeler la police si vous arrêtez pas." She's French, you know, French from France. And you know, and I told her I was so pissed, you know, like she insulted me because she's assuming it's my fault, and it's not. And I told her it's a ghost. And but you know, she's religious. She doesn't fucking believe in that. I mean, come on, let alone believe in gays or whatever, you know. So I told her, me, you know, don't fuck with me, man. Seriously, I'm a really nice guy. Don't fuck with me, because I told her, I said, you know, go back to your country where the bombs went off, because you know they had the terrorist attack in France. And the first time I remember, you know, witnessing any paranormal activities was when I had my clique of friends. This is going back probably about 15 years ago, give or take. And there was a friend of a friend. I don't know. Our parents had a chalet, which we call a chalet in French for a cottage up north. And apparently the cottage was like 100 years old. And you'd believe it. Just remember seeing the outside of it looked fucking really old. And the floors were really crooked. Kind of like my place. And I remember everybody's getting tanked and all that. And there was no heating in the place. I don't know why. There was no heating. It was fucking freezing. It was like late fall, November or something. And I'm walking down the hallway, and I'm, you know, whatever, just maybe tipsy, I think, and I hear this fucking door creaking open, you know, like just slowly, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck? There's no wind, nothing, you know, there's nobody around. So that was the first inkling of that, I think, in my life, when I you know, started to discover that. And I should mention, I'm a big horror movie fan. I've always loved horror movies. My brother and me used to love watching horror movies. I remember we watched, almost by mistake, with my parents, we watched Poltergeist in like 1985. I think I was like 9. We both at one point near the end of the movie, we were crying in tears, and I had nightmares. And I was convinced even at one point, and I think back whether I imagined it or dreamed it, or did it actually happen, where my night table next to my bed actually moved. So I don't know even at this point. I mean, Christ, we lived in a house that was built in 1954, you know. So, and I want to finish by saving the best for last was, you know, in 2006, my old man, James D. McFALL, which is right here, I don't know if the camera's showing it. Let's see if I can show you here. He actually died 12 years ago, January 8th. That's his girlfriend, Francine. Gone but never forgotten. My dad had a major impact on me, specifically also in my you know, my love for the old school rock and roll and soul and all that, all the old songs and music, and he died in 2006. So you know, months later, like in this coming spring, I inherited some money. I inherited a lot of money, and over years I blew it all. But anyway, I bought a '78 Caprice Classic, and my friends drove it. Never had a problem. It was a great car, absolutely fantastic. Then I went even more nuts. I saved a '59 DeSoto Fireflight, which, by the way, I should mention, looks like Christine. If you know that movie, it's my favorite movie of all time. And that car looked like Christine. It had those lines. It was a '59 DeSoto, which was made by Chrysler, just like that Plymouth and Christine. And I saved that car. It was on Saint Laurent Chabanel. It was parked at this garage for fucking years. It had ran 4 or 5 years, and had bought it for I don't know, I think $1,700 off a Jewish guy, and put it on a flatbed, sent it to a mechanic I knew in St. Julie, and eventually got it running. Anyway, so I had all this paperwork put together. I had a dealer come and sign it off so that the car will fill out a paper so that the car will, we call this guy a Tony. Usually his name is and where basically you have that paperwork that's like authorized by a dealer saying the car's fine. That way your car doesn't have to go through inspection. So I was told that. So, like in other cities, there's different places you go, the, Department of Motor Vehicles, DMV, whatever. Here we call it the SAC, Société Automobile de Québec. And I was told that if I went to a certain location in Lachine, which, by the way, I should mention is like, no, I'll get to that in a second. It's a lot quicker to go there than to go to that place on the Carry. So I go to Lachine, which, by the way, is like, Lachine is the oldest part of Montreal, if not the oldest town in North America, okay? It's so old that when Jacques Cartier's friend discovered it back in like 1642, he thought it was China. La Chine. Chine is China. So it's like the China. So he called it La Chine. So it's like the China. Anyway, so the city hall, I go to the city hall where the DMV is. And it's in a basement. And again, like I mentioned earlier in the video, where does evil usually hide, like in cold, dark places, attics and basements and stuff. And so anyway, I go in there. There's like 2 people waiting. And I waited, I think, 3 minutes. And there was this beautiful girl working the counter. Beautiful young girl. I mean, like, she's like, I don't know, early 20s, wet behind the ears, whatever. And then I give her the paperwork for the DeSoto. And she looks at it, and she says, yeah, your car's going to have to go through inspection. Now, me, I had a terrible temper even more than now. I mean, it's probably because not only it's my dad, but also because I was a big pothead for years. I'm not anymore. And, oh, man, I got fucking pissed off, and I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. And I'm not afraid to make a scene. And as soon as that happened, in the back of me, I hear ping, paff. And it was the top of those baseboard heaters, right? The typical metal ones. Here, I'll show you like mine here. Okay, like that there. Right, like one of these jobs, just like that, but longer than that. I would say maybe even twice as long as that, if I remember right. I mean, it's a commercial building, and the top of it, which is not light, it's metal, the whole thing's metal. It fucking flew off and flipped onto the ground. I turn around, nobody walked out, nobody's walking in, nobody's moving around. Nobody's moving around. All there is this guy sitting there. And I'm like, holy shit. And that really struck me. And I asked the girl working there, I was like, is this place haunted or anything? She's like, I don't know. I just started here 2 weeks ago. So I don't know how I gotta make a mental note to go back to this place one day and check that out. Because see what that's all about. Because that's very interesting, and it's one of those things that happens in your life, it marks you, I mean, there are people who've witnessed, I'm sure, far worse than that. Actually, speaking of which, I actually would like to hear your story. I'd like to read your comments of any stories you have, anything that was, very unusual, even whatever, UFOs, poltergeist, paranormal activity, ghosts, apparitions, spooks, whatever, haunted houses, haunted buildings, cars, whatever, cars. I saw a video years ago, fucking freaked me out. I'm still not convinced if it was real or not. And it was this guy who had like a Christine, I think it was a 58 Plymouth or a 57 Plymouth Belvedere 4-door, if I'm not mistaken. And all of a sudden the fucking car starts and the hood opens and closes and the trunk opens and closes and the lights light up. It looked fucking real, man. And the car was in rough shape, man. It was like in a barn or something. So, oh yeah, another thing I saw on YouTube many years ago, I never saw again. I think it was removed, I don't know, by YouTube or the author, but I thought it was very interesting, was a real ghost train. It didn't look CGI, man, but I don't know, it could have been, but it sure as hell looked real, man. It reminded me of Ghostbusters 2, when the boys run into that ghost train there in the subway tunnel, abandoned subway tunnel. It looked like that, but even better, and in the woods. You always see these train tracks, and all of a sudden you see this fucking apparition of a ghost train. I don't know, man. You tell me anything, I'll believe it. You know. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. It was fun making something different. I'm always trying to think of doing different things in different ways. Oh, and by the way, you guys who are, sort of gearheads like me, I'm always interested, by the way, if you have any old vehicle that you know that I like, that I could do a cold start of, I would please get in touch with me. Send me a private message. And if you're in Montreal or nearby, I'd love to go see it and make your car famous, so to speak. All right, whatever it is, old car, a truck, a bus. It doesn't have to be American, but it's got to be something I like. We're pretty open-minded usually. So hope you like the guys this video, yeah. So take it easy, and I'm trying to think if I forgot anything because I blab too much and I talk too much sometimes, but I think that's it. So take it easy. Bye bye.